What's up, guys? So, I was thinking about a story that I had remembered the other day that happened to me a couple years ago, and it made me think that if you're a socially awkward guy, you will not be left alone. This world is not for you, man. Like, you're not gonna be, by yourself. Yeah, you don't interact with anybody, nothing positive, but nothing negative, right? That's what people think. It's not true. If you're a socially awkward, weird guy, you will actively be made fun of, even by people who you don't know. Like people who you don't interact with, you've never said anything negative to them, they will still dislike you. Purely off of how you look and how you act, not anything that you would have said. So, this happened a couple years ago. I was at lunch. My friend came up to me and he's like, "Oh, they were talking about you in gym class today." And I was like, "Oh, really? What were they saying?" And he was like, "Yeah, it was this one guy who was on my bus and this other girl who was this relatively popular girl, very pretty woman, I must say. They were talking about you." And the one guy was like, "Yeah, he's so weird. He sits up really straight on the bus," because I went on the bus with him, and I guess I would have good posture when I was sitting on the bus. Didn't know that was a crime. All right. It's like, dude, you could be doing nothing, like the most innocuous thing, and they will still find a way to make fun of you for it. It's honestly infuriating. I never said anything bad about that guy before. I didn't really have an opinion on him, but after he said that, I never liked that guy after that. I was very upset at that. Like, what the hell? No reason. Flaming me for no reason. But then, here's the big one. The girl said, "Oh yeah, dude, he literally has no riz." That's what she said. I had also never spoken to her before. How do I have no riz if I've never spoken to you? So, riddle me that. Riddle me that. Okay, the one interaction that I do remember having with her was a couple years prior. I went to the mall with a couple people, and her and her friend had showed up. And they were both like pretty popular girls, both pretty girls. But they showed up and we were hanging out with them for a bit. And the thing is, like, okay, I was, again, socially awkward, and I didn't know what to say, so I didn't really say anything to them. But I kind of walked. I didn't cause any problems, right? I was mostly talking with my guy friends that I was comfortable with, you know? Let an incel do his thing, right? I don't know why that's such a big issue, but that might have been part of it, because they might have thought like, that's weird. Why is this guy, all he is walking around with us, he hasn't said a single word. But what are you also supposed to say to pretty girls who you've never talked to before, right? I feel like that's a difficult one. The other thing might be that I was texting the one friend, like later on, a couple of years later, in high school, I was texting the one friend after she moved on Snapchat. But it was like some back and forth, nothing crazy, you know what I mean? And she would respond too. Like, I could completely understand if she didn't respond or she left me delivered for a while, but she didn't. She would respond. Like, she was a nice girl. She was a chill girl. I don't think she liked me or anything, but she was chill. But I wonder if that's it. Like, if she had told her friend that I had no riz in my messages. But why would you say that? Like, it almost makes me sad, not even for myself, but it's like, why are you so mean? Why are you guys so cruel for no reason at all? Like, I wouldn't do that. If a girl, like, slid into my DMs or something that I knew and was texting me, I wouldn't go to my friends and be like, "Oh, you guys see this? Oh, how pathetic," right? No, that's evil. That's horrible. I mean, I might brag a bit, I'd be like, "Hey, this girl likes me," even if I didn't like her back, right? But I'm not gonna treat her as if she's some kind of like, pathetic, or I don't know. It's, I don't like it at all. But the other story I have is much more of a Charlie Brown type of story, where you would think that has to be made up. Like, how did that even happen? But it's true. So, I was at this strip mall next to this park, and I was sitting down. It was late at night, maybe around 8 or 9. I don't know. It was dark outside. And I was waiting for somebody to come pick me up. And as I was waiting there, I went on my phone for a bit, but then my phone died. So I was probably sitting there for like 5 or 10 minutes, sitting down, looking straight, not really doing anything, right? Kind of waiting. And I see this car pull up right to the curb in front of me, roll down the window. It's a teenage, they're all teenagers, but I'm pretty sure they were like seniors in high school or juniors, but probably seniors. And I think they went to my school. But it was a guy, I don't think I know who he was, and then a cute girl, not super attractive, but decently attractive girl. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but he rolled down the window and he was like, "Loser!" And he drove away. And the other girl was like, "Stop!" You know that thing that they do? "Stop, no!" And he drove away with the music blasting. And I sat there with my mouth open, smiling. I was like, there's no way that happened to me. That's like a Diary of a Wimpy Kid type of thing. I like to do this thing where I look at the fourth wall. I'll break the fourth wall, the imaginary fourth wall, and like stare at a camera like I'm on a TV show. But I would do that because I was like, there's absolutely no way that I'm sitting here, didn't do anything, and this guy comes up to me and yells "loser." It's like, I don't know. They won't let you be. That's the thing, is they simply don't want to see you in public. That goes for women, and that goes for some men too. Now, I actually think, looking back on it, that was kind of funny. Like, I do think that's kind of funny, but at the same time, if I was very depressed or something, then that would have been bad. You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't say that to people randomly, but if it's like a normal person, you know, it's gonna be fine. I'm glad that happened to me, actually, because I had the story that came from it. But really, most people want the weird, the socially awkward, the sub-5s, you know, autistic people, out of sight, out of mind. The same thing with suffering. You guys ever notice that? Like, really, is that people don't want to see it. The same thing with homeless people. That's why they have the anti-homeless architecture, you guys know, when they place the spikes and those type of designs on benches and things like that. It's because people don't want to see homeless people. You want to kind of pretend that things are fine, you know? Now, funny part is I actually agree with the anti-homeless architecture. That's not because I hate homeless people, but that's because I think in the vast majority of cases, you know, it's kind of dangerous to have them around for many reasons, you know. A lot of them are mentally unwell and things like that. But there are many cases of simply, oh, push it away. We don't want to see it. Push it away. You know? And that's what most people want to do. But that's not really a solution. You're not really fixing anything. But they don't care about fixing. They only care about their personal lives and their personal experience. You know? Honestly, I hate the term bullying. I think it's so cringe. But people that do that, I, again, always found it almost humorous. Like, they do that in TV shows sometimes. They'll, like, exaggerate. I think in Cobra Kai, there was, like, a scene where these kids kicked over one of the characters who was in crutches. Like, he was walking around in crutches because he was, like, you know, couldn't walk. He was, like, disabled. And they kicked him, and they made him fall. Like, I started laughing so hard because it's so ridiculous. Nobody would actually do that, right? But honestly, I have had some experiences, like I said, where people do things that are so ridiculous for no reason at all. But they still do it. I don't really know, but I think that sort of exaggerated hate for no reason is pretty funny. But yeah, of course, purely because it's so rare and you wouldn't expect it. But the fact that some people do behave that way for no reason, it's like, you know, think about it. There is no real reason to make the world worse for others. right? Like, when you make fun of someone, like, if it's all jokes, obviously it's fine, but when you're doing that type of stuff, you're putting people down, actually. Like, you're overall decreasing the happiness in the world. Like, why would you do that? You know, it's not a very smart thing to do. Now, there is cases where enforcing of social norms is helpful and does make sense. I agree with that for sure. But most cases are not like that. Now, I actually didn't really have any people in my high school who were like that, as far as I know. You know, which is kind of crazy because you'd always watch those, like, movies in the 80s or whatever about the bullies, but it wasn't really a thing. But also, it's pretty stupid because I'm sure your guys' school was the same way, but you can't stand up for yourself in a fight. If you do that, they will throw you in detention or suspend you too. Like, I remember sitting through a school presentation where they straight up said, oh, if somebody's attacking you, what you can do is you can't fight back against them, but what you can do is if you can safely restrain them, meaning if you can hold their arms by their side, then that's okay, and you won't get in trouble for that. It's like, do you know, you'd probably have to be like Eddie Hall versus Jack Fit for that to even work. Like, that's like almost trying to hold an alligator's mouth open. You know what I mean? Like, you can hold it closed, you can't hold it open. You can't hold people's arms by their side. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you're like clinched with them. You guys know in UFC when you get clinched, like if you give them like a big bear hug, maybe. But let's also be honest. In most cases of fighting, the attacker is going to be physically larger than the person who he's attacking. So it's ridiculous to be like, oh, all you have to do is put their arms at their side. I can tell that these people have never been in a fight before. And they want to blame the victim. That's really what they want to do. That's what this no tolerance policy is blaming the victim. But yeah, as a socially awkward man, you're not welcome anywhere. Nobody really wants to see you. And that's kind of what you have to deal with in this life. That's why you got to try to self-improve, obviously. But, you know, we're black pill guys. We know the truth. You can only improve so much. And it's more about accepting the way that people are going to treat you in life and to try to move forward than to try to completely change yourself. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's about it. See ya.